Um, First of all, could you give us a well-being update on Harry Newman, please?
He's had his operation this morning. I mean, I've literally just stepped off the training field, so had a couple of FaceTime conversations with him over the last couple of days. He's in really good spirits, mate, considering they've had to hang on a little bit for the operation, a day or two, because of COVID, mate. Instead of 5 operations a day, I think the hospitals are getting through maybe 2, possibly 3. We looked at the possibility of moving him, but because it's a trauma, such a trauma incident, private hospitals aren't really equipped. It simply wouldn't have sped the process up. So unfortunately, we've had to grin and bear it for a couple of days. But he's getting operated on at 9 o'clock this morning. So he will be out now. I've not checked my phone as such, but hopefully everything's gone well. And as I say, we're in good spirits and really positive about what happens next.
What about the longer-term blow for the club as a whole?
Oh, of course, on a number of levels. One, he's a terrific young player that we're in outstanding form. The amount of time that he's going to be out, for the kid himself. If ever there's a kid that loves turning up to work every day and playing rugby league, and a kid that is, ultra ambitious and wanting to improve himself all the time, that's Harry. So, having to deal with the setback will be a challenge, but we're readying him for that. We'll support him. I think from early prognosis and x-rays, they are confident that he'll get back and get back pretty quickly. They're quite hopeful of that. There's no ligament damage. His ankle is all intact. So hopefully, once we get a little bit of metal work into that big bone today, then he can start his recovery process. I mean, initially they're saying 3 to 6 months, James, but obviously, if we can keep it under the 6, that'll be a bonus for us.
So on to this week. I guess one of the perks of being a head coach is to be able to take a young player to one side and tell that player that they're about to make their Super League debut. You've had the luxury of doing that quite a few times this week ahead of this game. Can you give us an insight into how it's been for you and maybe some of the reactions you've had from those players as well?
Yes, I mean, I've coached for a long time, James, and surprisingly, I was thinking about this last night, actually. Surprisingly, you remember a lot, and I think I have a capacity for remembering lots and lots of stuff about the game in my career, but I can certainly remember every player you've ever given a debut to. It is a real good experience and wonderful position to be in to deliver that type of news. At the moment, obviously, we generally do a shirt presentation. We could invite the families in. That's very, very different with COVID at the moment, being in our bubble, for want of a better description. So we've sort of lost that ability to do our normal bits that make it nice and memorable for the players. And we've got, I think, 6 debutants tomorrow. So what we did was, we spoke to the parents, the families, some of the junior coaches. We put some videos together. The guys that aren't playing tomorrow night, again, turned up this morning. So Kevin presented them with the shirts, and obviously we played some really emotional messages from, as I say, the parents, the siblings, the girlfriends, and everybody that's played a part on the way through. So some real good stuff in there. Don't forget there's 2 old international props in there in Carl Harrison and Terry O'Connor. You could obviously tell which one of them is a TV pundit for a living. Yeah, he'd got some vision, some backdrop. It was very well stage managed from Terry, I will say. But yeah, it were a really nice touch for those young guys too. And as we said to them this morning, they're a representation, James, of everything that's gone before them. The teammates that they've played with at the junior footy clubs, obviously the parents and the families, the schools that they've come from, and all the path that they've trod, the mates that everybody will be looking out from tomorrow night, and their names will be, forever etched on that heritage board with a number for Leeds Rhinos, which in itself, as a young kid, when you start playing out for the love and enjoyment of it, it's a remarkable achievement and honour to get to.
It's a pretty onerous question to ask, but of those 6 new faces, is there any one of those that you're particularly interested to see how they go against first-grade opposition?
Yeah, all of them, and I think everyone's got its own story and reasons. It is an opportunity, and we know moving forward, we're going to have to get some of these players through our pathway. So it's a really good opportunity, apart from all the niceness and fluffiness and being proud and everything we've just talked about. It's a golden opportunity because they've come close. A number of them have come close on occasions. And as myself and Kevin are looking forward to the future and how we shape our squad moving forward, it's a great way to make a first impression. We really believe in him, James. I think that is important to say, that while we haven't had to change our team too much since we come back from the COVID break, we do anticipate having to do that moving forward. And as we're making recruitment decisions, we definitely want to pencil some of these names in to think that these guys are going to be part of our 17, 20-man squad over the next, 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. And we don't think some of them are too far away anyway. I think it would be wrong to single people out because, as I say, every different one has, everyone's got a different story and a different reason why it's a special day for them. But we're looking forward to seeing them play.
And just finally for me, Rich, what do you think you'll get from Catalan?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know they're backing up with the game at the weekend, I think. So what sort of team to put out? They've certainly named a strong squad. And I think they've looked like a very capable team. I would look at Catalan and think they have actually got some of the very best players in the competition. Some of their best players are the best players in the competition. And blokes like Sam Tompkins, Maloney, look at Israel Folau. They've been some of the best players in the world over the last sort of generation. So that in itself is a wonderful challenge for our blokes. They're a team that, I think Steve's got them working pretty hard defensively for each other. They've had a lot of away games and a lot of travel. And I think given the fact that they've got a number of home games coming up too, I think they'll be a team that will be definitely challenging for a top 4 spot. It's on one hand, it's great that we're making so many debuts. On the other hand, probably a bit of a shame that it possibly could have been the game of the round, this one. But at the same time, we feel we've got a team that can go out there and if it gives its best rugby, can really compete.
The Catalans are going for they could be top 4. You probably could be going for that same spot, couldn't you? It looks like you may have given up on this game tomorrow, but can you still beat them with the team you're going to put out?
I would hope so. I think we can be competitive. We definitely haven't given up on it, Ian. I think that's, absolutely not the wrong. We've had a really vibrant preparation. We've got a number of young, very enthusiastic kids in there. We're still unaware of what lineup they'll put. Of course, if they go full strength and you go man for man and look at the respective lineups tomorrow, we understand that they will be overwhelming favourites. But we don't know what team they're putting out yet. We don't know what the weather conditions are going to put like, and there's a lot of unknown about us, which can be a very, very dangerous quantity. But look, it's week by week, step by step. There's different challenges every week, and in terms of Catalan and being a top 4 team, they've certainly got the personnel, but we think we're in the same boat too. We're on 3 losses, like a number of teams in the top sort of 4 or 5 regions. So the schedule is going to, I think, really play a part on the running. What games get put on, when they get put on, who's playing 3 games a week. That's going to have a really big bearing on how the competition pans out, I reckon.
You've got 1 or 2 players back as well, Richard, haven't you? Jack Walker, is he going to be pushing for a spot in the semi-final team?
Yeah, he is. We'd like to get some time into Jack tomorrow to see how he goes. So we've got a number of players coming back. Obviously, Conrad Earl, Brad Dwyer are coming back off a COVID break. Cameron Smith's back from his broken jaw. Jack Walker's back from his injury. So we have got some selections going into the weekend. We're pretty certain of 15, possibly 16 of what our start team will be. There's certainly, at least a spot, maybe 2 up for grabs for the semi at the weekend. And hopefully we don't have to back too many players up. Hopefully we're backing only 1 or 2 players up maximum from this game.
Just looking at the 21-man squad,
yes.
I'd imagine Callum McClelland will start in the halves. In terms of who partners him, have you made that decision yet?
Yeah, we have.
Can you tell us who it is?
No. No, not yet, mate. No, we'll tell you tomorrow.
And just a word on Levi Edwards. I think out of the youngsters that you have named in the squad, he was probably the least known to fans. What has he shown you in training and in games in the past couple of years to earn that place in the 21?
Look, it'll be a good experience for Levi. We've recently contracted a couple of kids from our academy in Levi, from our scholarship, in Levi and Morgan Gannon, that we think are tremendous young talents in and around the age group. They're really standout players. It's wrong of me to say that the pick of the age group in the country, because I probably haven't quite got that knowledge to sort of quantify that. But Levi's been within our system for a couple of years on scholarship. We made the call to bring him in early to try and, I guess, get a hold of him early and shape his professional career from a really young age. Morgan Gannon will still continue with his studies and join us as and when those studies permit. But because we've got Levi in early, it's just a good experience for him to be in and around a match day squad. He's been training. It's highly unlikely that he'll play. He's still 16 years of age. We would like him to spend a little bit more time with us and down the track if an opportunity opens up. And we feel he's physically ready. We've still got a duty of care to our players. And I think first and foremost that, given this situation, the temptation to play Levi, while it's a strong one to see how he goes, I think, at the same time, we've got to look after him a little bit as well. So we've named him in the squad. Obviously, he's been part of the preparations all week. We'll get him to warm up on game day too, but it's unlikely he'll play a part tomorrow. Louis McConnell is another one that we'd probably talk about. Louis has been an absolute standout through both scholarship and academy. We just felt that given where we were at this moment in time, he was a guy that we kept on to play reserve grade because we feel that he was absolutely a player worth just keeping in your system. As a young front rower, he's still very young in terms of being a front rower, and size-wise, he's still got a bit of growing to do yet. But we felt that his performances, his attitude, the skill he possesses as a real natural rugby league player, we wanted to keep Louis in our system. Unfortunately, reserve grade is no more this season and unlikely next season. So Featherstone have picked Louis up to take into their squad. But we felt, on merit of what he's achieved while he's been in our system, and because of the ability, he was a top junior representative player, represented England when they beat Australia at academy level. We feel that Louis was, worthy of making our team tomorrow night.